Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're talking about spring books. Now, I'm not talking about books set in spring. I don't fully remember when books are usually set. I'm talking about spring vibes. We are now officially into spring. I'm seeing the trees around here actually start to have like those blossoms on there that are gonna turn into leaves and all this kind of stuff. Let me tell you, it's exciting because in Arizona, we don't really get seasons. It's very much like the trees have their leaves most of the year, and I don't really notice that kind of stuff. But like looking outside, they're pink and red and it's just like looking cute and pretty, and I'm just like, spring vibes. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna share 5 books that I have read and loved that I feel like have spring vibes, and then also 5 books that I wanna pick up soon that I also think could also have spring vibes. You guys might have to confirm that or give me other recommendations if you have books that feel like spring. But yes, let's get started. We're gonna start with the ones that I've read. So the first one that I have here is one of my more recent reads. It's The Prospects by K.T. Hoffman. This is a baseball sports romance, male-male romance. One of our main characters is also trans. We had lots of representation in here. I absolutely love this book. So far, it is my favorite book of 2025. But mainly, I think also baseball. I am not a big sports person, but like baseball makes me think of spring training. Spring is in there. I also do feel like a lot of romances do feel sort of springy to me because they're usually happy, uplifting, new things, new relationships are starting, and it just has that sort of like vibe of like new things growing. But yes, also baseball. That's what it makes me think of, spring training, and I just absolutely love this one, like so much. I talked about it in my wrap up. I also did a vlog where I read this one, but yeah, one of my new favorite books, my favorite book of 2025 so far, and it definitely feels like spring. Speaking of romances, because like I said, romances make me think spring vibes more often than not, I have Well Met by Jen DeLuca. This is a romance set at a Ren fair. Now, I might change my thought process on this later because I actually think this is supposed to be set during the summer. However, in Arizona, summers are too hot. Ren fairs are outside, so our Ren fair in Arizona was like end of February through beginning of April. It is very much a spring sort of thing. We would always go in March, and so that's what this makes me think of. I read these when I was in Arizona. I know the Ren fair out here in Washington is going to be more in the summer as well, but for me personally, when I think Renaissance Fair, I still think spring. Also, like I mentioned before, this is going to be a romance. Romances in general also make me think spring, moving forward, new growth, all that kind of stuff. So currently, all of the Ren Fair romances by Jen DeLuca scream spring to me. Another one that I have here is Love Fortunes and Other Disasters by Kimberly Carolias. This is a young adult romance sort of thing. It is by Swoon Reads, which I do believe is a young adult romance publisher. But this is about a town that is run by like love fortunes. Like they go to this fortune teller and it tells them about whether they're gonna fall in love or not, how they're gonna do in those relationships and that kind of stuff. And it has like this sort of magical element, but again, because we're sort of closer to that sort of romance vibe, again, this is what I think of. This is actually a duology, and so the second book also really screams spring to me. Also, these covers just feel very cute and wholesome and springy. So while there are other disasters and other things like that, this is something that like if I wanted to reread it, because I have reread it before in the past, I feel like I would normally want to pick it up around this time of year in spring. Another one that I picked up is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. Again, this is not going to be those sort of like new growth romance type of things. This cover of Wolfsong really does scream spring to me. I think it's the flowers at the bottom. But I think because of the found family aspect, that sort of more cozy atmosphere, even though this is not necessarily a cozy book, there are very hard topics and hard-hitting things in this book. But I do think that sort of found family aspect can read spring cozy, that kind of vibe. And so when I was looking through all of my books, not only did the cover make me want to go in the spring direction, I do think I want to reread this, and this one does make me think spring. Some of the other covers and things in the series don't. So I'm curious about those because I have not read them yet, but this one does make me feel like spring. And then the last one that I have here for the ones that I've already read before, I feel like might be sort of a gimme. It's Waiting for Spring by Anna Shin. It is a manga, and this does have some sports in it as well. It has basketball. Don't ask me if basketball is normally in spring or not. I have no idea, but it's Waiting for Spring. And again, this is going to be more of those sort of romance vibes, new friendship vibes. This is about a girl who is sort of wanting to make new friends, struggling to make new friends, and gets sort of taken in by 4 boys on the basketball team that sort of like take her under their wing. We do, like I said, have some romance elements that come into the series later on, but I think that sort of, again, friendships, found family, like relationship building aspect is really what leads me into spring sometimes. And the fact that it's called Waiting for Spring, and I do just really love those sort of relationships in here, I had to pick this one. Okay, so those are the 5 books that I've read before that I think scream spring. So now I have 5 other books that I have not read that I have an inkling that, like, I think they could be spring. I could be wrong. We'll see. But this is what I have here. The first one that I picked up is This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. So I have Cinderella is Dead somewhere in my 25 books I want to read in 2025, which are all wrapped up. I actually don't think Cinderella is Dead feels spring to me. Again, haven't read it, don't know. But the fact that this one is dealing with more plants and like plant powers, I want to say, that is leading me more to spring. I know that this one's going to be a little bit darker than maybe some of the other spring books that I've talked about. But like, again, the cover's leading me to spring. I definitely want to try this one out. I don't know much else about it, but like, right? Spring. Another one that I picked up is Running with Lions by Julian Winters. This is going to be a young adult contemporary, and this is another sports book. It's soccer. I think soccer's spring. Again, I don't know sports. I'm not sure, but Presley's doing soccer right now. It's March. He'll be doing soccer until the very beginning of April, but like, we're in spring now, he's still doing soccer, I think that counts. But again, we're leaning in toward the contemporary, friendships, team building. I think there's some romance in here. And so this again, I think the sports vibes is giving it to me. Maybe all sports to me feel like spring, except football. I say spring. The next one I have here is Otter by Catherine Applegate. This is one that I definitely want to pick up very, very soon. It's something that I picked up at a Friends of the Library book sale, so that's why it has the library sticker and plastic on there. This, okay, again, I feel like this could also potentially be summer because I am seeing the like ocean or a body of water here, but also baby animals. Isn't it usually like baby animals happen in spring? It's making me think that as well. This is also going to be a novel told in verse, and something about that poetry aspect, the verse-like aspect in here, makes me also think spring. Do I know anything else about this book? Not really. I talked about it at one point in time during a like new books that are coming out soon type of thing. And even back then, I don't know if I knew it was told in verse. So this should be something I should pick up soon because it'll be very easy to read. But yeah, there's just something about this that makes me think it's going to be spring. Okay, the next book that I have here is Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries by Heather Fawcett. Again, the foliage on here making me think that. But also I do think the cozy fantasy of this could lean into spring. Are all cozy fantasies going to be spring? No, I do think some of them are going to be autumn, but I think also there's supposed to be some sort of romance element in here, right? So all of that is just sort of leaning up to the fact that I think this could feel like spring. It could feel cozy, it could have that new growth type of thing that we're talking about. The cover is just really making me think spring as well. Again, I could be wrong, let me know, but that's the vibes I'm getting from this one. And then the last one that I have here is going to be a romance. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I mean, tell me this does not feel like spring with all these flowers on the cover. Again, gonna be romance. I actually don't know too much about it. One of them is gonna be a bodyguard, right? That's sort of the whole point. But it's gonna be romance. building new relationships, and all those flowers on there has to feel like spring. It has to. If it doesn't feel like spring, I will feel very cheated. So those are books that I do want to read soon, and I want to see if they have those spring vibes. That's part of the reason I want to read them soon, because we are in spring now. But let me know what you think, if there's any books that you would feel like are spring that I did not mention, if you think that I'm wrong about any of the ones that I have not read yet, or even if you think I'm wrong about the ones I have read. These are just the reasons I feel like they fit spring. I was debating a long time with some of them, because like, flowers on the cover don't necessarily just mean spring. I have an Anne of Green Gables that has flowers all over the cover, but that feels more fall, autumn. I also have a Little Women that has flowers all over the cover, but I'm pretty sure Little Women is more winter. Like, it's just, those are the vibes. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!